Are you preparing to take the AEPA Middle Grades General Science exam? If you're feeling overwhelmed by the content you need to master, don't worry. You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Everything Teacher channel. My name's Olivia, and I'm a teacher certification advisor with study.com. Today, I'll be sharing my top 10 tips to help you prepare strategically, understand the test structure, and walk into the Arizona Educator Proficiency Assessment Middle Grades General Science exam ready to succeed. Ready to get started? Great, let's get to work. My first tip for this exam is to know the 4 content domains like the back of your hand. The Arizona Educator Proficiency Assessment Middle Grades General Science exam tests you across 4 distinct content domains: nature of science, physical science, life science, and earth and space science. Understanding their weight is crucial for your study strategy. Nature of science makes up 19% of your test score and covers scientific inquiry, history, as well as nature of science, and relationships between science, technology, and society. Physical science is the largest portion of the test at 31% and includes matter properties, energy transformations, force and motion, and wave characteristics. Life science accounts for 25% and covers cell biology, processes of living organisms, genetics, evolution, and ecosystems. Earth and space science also makes up 25% and includes Earth's history, the hydrosphere, atmosphere, weather in addition to climate, and the solar system. Knowing these percentages helps you allocate your study time effectively. Since physical science carries the most weight, you might want to spend more time there, while also considering which areas need the most work in your personal preparation. In relation to knowing the domains that make up the test, my second tip is to get a firm grasp on the multiple choice format and test logistics. This exam consists of approximately 150 multiple choice questions that you'll complete in up to 3 hours. That gives you roughly 72 seconds per question, so pacing is essential. The test is computer-based, and you'll have access to valuable reference materials, including a periodic table, formula pages, and a scientific calculator. The good news is you won't have to worry about memorizing all formulas and the periodic table since these are provided. Practice using these tools with Study.com's practice questions during your preparation so you're comfortable with them on test day. Building on understanding the test structure, my third tip is to focus on scientific inquiry and lab safety first. Since nature of science appears throughout the other domains, master these concepts early in your preparation. You can prepare by understanding experimental design principles, forming hypotheses, controlling variables, and analyzing data. Practice by reviewing sample experiments and identifying what makes hypotheses testable, which variables to control, and how data supports conclusions. Know the difference between independent and dependent variables, and evaluate scientific claims based on evidence. Create flashcards with experimental scenarios and identify the independent variable, what's changed, the dependent variable, what's measured, and constants, what stays the same. Lab safety is crucial. Understand proper procedures for handling materials, equipment safety, and hazard identification. Study common safety symbols, disposal methods, and emergency procedures. Practice identifying laboratory hazards and appropriate safety equipment. These foundational concepts help you tackle questions across all content domains effectively. Moving from foundational concepts to practical application, my fourth tip is to embrace the calculation requirements. Even though you'll have a scientific calculator, you need to be comfortable with essential formulas and mathematical procedures. For physical science, memorize key formulas for kinetic and potential energy, like Ohm's law, wave velocity, and gas law relationships. Creating flashcards can help with the memorization process and can be used individually or when practicing with others. Practice unit conversions, especially between metric units, and be ready to solve problems involving density, pressure, and concentration. For earth science, understand how to interpret data from weather maps, seismic waves, and astronomical observations. The formula sheet helps, but you need to know when and how to apply each formula correctly. As we move into content-specific strategies, my fifth tip is to master cell biology and biological processes. Life science questions heavily emphasize cellular processes, so be familiar with the structure and function of organelles in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. You can prepare for this by creating concept maps that show the detailed steps of photosynthesis and cellular respiration, connecting where each process occurs and what products are formed. Understand mitosis and meiosis by making comparison charts that highlight when each process occurs and how they differ in genetic outcomes. Be able to explain how specialized cell structures relate to their specific functions. This concept appears frequently on the exam. You can create cards with cell structures drawn on one side and their functions listed on the other, then practice explaining why each structure is perfectly designed for its specific job. These cellular concepts form the foundation for grasping larger biological systems and processes. Continuing with domain-specific preparation, my sixth tip is to know your Earth systems inside and out. Earth and space science require you to understand how Earth systems interact with each other. For the geosphere, understand plate tectonics, the rock cycle, and how constructive and deconstructive forces shape Earth's surface. For the hydrosphere, know the water cycle, groundwater systems, and how oceans and freshwater systems function. For the atmosphere, explore the different layers, weather patterns, and climate factors. And don't forget space science. Learn the characteristics of planets, moon phases, and the evidence supporting our understanding of the solar system and universe. To prepare for each of these components, you can create system diagrams showing how the geosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and space interact. Use online simulations to visualize plate tectonics and the rock cycle. Now that we've covered content mastery, my seventh tip is to practice interpreting scientific data and diagrams. Many questions will require you to analyze graphs, charts, diagrams, and experimental data, rather than just recall facts. Practice this skill by analyzing one graph or diagram daily, writing down what patterns you observe and what conclusions you can draw. Use Study.com's interactive data interpretation exercises to build your confidence. This skill is tested across all four content domains, so practice with diverse question types using Study.com's comprehensive practice materials. For diagrams, be ready to interpret cross-sections of Earth's layers, cell organelles, electrical circuits, and astronomical phenomena. Building on data interpretation skills, my eighth tip is to use the elimination strategy for challenging questions. Since there's no penalty for guessing, never leave a question blank. When you encounter a difficult question, read it carefully and eliminate incorrect answers first. Look for key terms in the question that might match terminology in the answer choices. Observe the word choice in questions and be wary of answers that use absolute terms like always or never. Science often involves exceptions and conditions. If you're stuck between two answers, consider which one aligns better with fundamental scientific principles you know to be true. Eliminate and guess strategically rather than randomly selecting answers. As we approach test day preparation, my ninth tip is to take full-length practice tests under timed conditions. The 3-hour test length requires mental stamina, so build your endurance with completing practice exams. Take at least 2 full-length practice tests in the weeks leading up to your exam. Time yourself strictly and practice in real test conditions. Find a quiet space alone and practice using only the reference materials provided for the test. After each practice test, analyze your performance by content domain to identify your strongest and weakest areas. Focus your remaining study time on the domains where you need the most improvement, but still devote an appropriate amount of study time to your stronger areas. Use the practice test experience to refine your pacing strategy and build test readiness. For my final tip, I want to share how to build confidence through a systematic study schedule. Success on this exam comes from steady, consistent preparation rather than last-minute cramming. Set up a study schedule that covers all 4 content domains systematically over several weeks. Use Study.com's diagnostic tools to identify your weak areas and create a personalized study plan that targets your specific needs. Review one content domain each week, then spend time on practice questions from that domain. Keep track of your progress with a study log, and remember to celebrate small victories like mastering a difficult concept or improving your practice test scores. By exam day, you'll feel confident because you've put in consistent quality preparation time. And there you have it, my top 10 tips for conquering the AEPA Middle Grades General Science exam. With strategic preparation focused on the 4 content domains, smart test-taking strategies, and consistent practice, you're not just going to pass, you're going to excel. Remember that Study.com offers comprehensive test prep resources specifically designed for the AEPA exams, including practice questions, detailed explanations, and personalized study plans that can help you maximize your preparation time. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow future Arizona educators. Drop your questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your preparation journey and any specific topics you're working on. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep believing in yourself. Arizona's middle school students are waiting for an amazing science teacher like you.